Hey good people, this is Donna Meals and we made an entire month. For those of you that are kind of new, I've had some people check in the last week or so. This is a little thing I called Empowered Meals. I'm feeling empowered and I'm trying to help you become the same way through food gamification. And basically what that is it's a two-part process, and one is just figuring out the food that you're supposed to eat, you personally, and secondly, being able to find a way to absolutely love that. And a lot of it is just through habit change. I know that's kind of a dirty word, but there's one thing I wanted. I'm going to bring up my my meme for the day on that note, and this is from Henry David Thoreau. He's one of our great American writers. One of his quotes says, "What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals." So, that speaks to us so much when we're going through the minutia every day of trying to figure out what to eat and what should I do. I mean, it can be a daunting task, and that's why I'm doing this channel. So I can help people just go through and start picking away a little bit here and there, figuring out what works for you, and getting to a place where you like what it is that you're supposed to eat. I know personally, and I've said this before, but I should reiterate, when you eat crap, you crave crap. And when you eat things that are really good for you, you gravitate towards that direction of what's really good for you. And I mean, it's all just critter brain psychology. It's where your patterns and your habits and all of those things are. I keep saying where your energy, where your thoughts go, your energy flows. So if you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to set this up and I'm going to plan out what I'm going to do this week and it's going to be healthy XYZ, you're already conditioning your mind to tell you that you want to do that. And that's part of the two-part process that I'm talking about. I think there's a lot of programs out there where people try and give you something they prescribe to and say, take this drink or eat this pill, or don't eliminate all fat, eliminate all carbs. There's a happy medium out there. It's really hard to determine what's truly right for you, and that's why I'm bringing all of this information into the forefront during these videos, so that you can kind of sit down and try and figure out what direction is right for you, because it can be very confusing. But I love the idea of that meme where it's not just about achieving the goal, it's who you are once you get there. Because you've gone through a process or a journey per se. I don't know if any of you have taken a look at, I wrote a book, it was a number of years ago. In fact, I'm in the process of redoing it right now. But I will leave that in the link, and if you'd like to read, my book, it's just basically a how-to guide to start getting your mind and your thoughts in the right direction, and some really good, solid information about nutrition. A lot of it is what I've already covered, but having that little book, it's about 100 pages. It's really easy to go through and read. Might just give you like a starting place. And okay, so my topic today is setting up good snacks. I had a couple of requests for people that wanted to some ideas for some one person wanted some good vegan snacks, another wanted just hey, what kind of snacks can I have if I'm not doing dairy or whatever, and just the same old rules of substitution that we've been talking about is just so easy to apply when you really get down to it. And I'm going to go through a little list. I made up my own little handout. I kind of redid because food trends tend to move so much. So, but before I even get into that, just kind of wanted to talk about just a few just minor changes. Okay, mentally they're minor, but they're huge. I usually try and start people off if they're 20 pounds at least overweight and have multiple issues that are going on, high blood pressure, cholesterol, overweight, pre-diabetic, all of that. There's so many people who are falling into that category. I've kind of been honing in on that lately because I've just had so many requests for those kind of issues. They all revolve around food. They all begin and end with food. Hopefully the end is in the happy direction because you've changed the way your thoughts are and your programming, okay? One of the easiest way to just make that start is to just kind of get yourself a template for the day. And I just suggest everybody start off with a good smoothie every morning. Simple. Get a good fat, a good protein, and some kind of fruits and vegetables in there, which is your good carbs. So whether or not you find a really good protein powder, you want to stay somewhere in the range of maybe 18 to 20 good carbs of protein. Whether or not you do whey powder, that's dairy. Some are all plant. You're probably better to go with the plant protein. There's a lot more selection of that coming out right now. Some of them are collagen oriented. I guess it can't hurt, but vanilla chocolate, you can flavor it with the fruit. I just did a pina colada one. I have a vanilla protein powder this morning that I did. And I used coconut milk, and I had a fresh pineapple that I cut up and threw that in there. And even just a couple drops of vanilla, fresh, my vanilla extract too, blew me away. It was so good. And I always put avocado in my smoothies. Always. I put probably a third to a half an avocado because there you're getting good fats and good oils in there. So that's one little tip. And I've had previous stuff on this before, but having that smoothie regimen, you can toss it up, get a chocolate, chocolate raspberry, chocolate blueberry. There's so many different ways you can mix it up. There's so many different products out there. Sometimes I will put some nut butter in there, like cashew butter with my chocolate. So, because I can't do peanut, but that's my little chocolate peanut butter thing. I use cashew butter instead because I can't do peanuts. So those are just some ideas, okay? Now, the other, I'm just kind of going out of order, my usual thing, but that's kind of my brain hack for today is, my mental hack is to really sit down and oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying brain hack. I need my brain to work right today. my food hack, excuse me. Don't mind me. It's Friday. Yay. My food hack is called a snack plate. Okay. So this is something that I do. Like I said, I do my smoothie in the morning, and then right after that, I comprise, and if I'm home all day, a lot of us stuck with this stupid virus thing. We've been home a lot more than usual, but if I'm home all day, I have this little square tray that I have, and I can put it in their fridge, and I just get everything ready. And I'll have a little thing of olives and a little thing of maybe blueberries that day. I have my little zucchini roll that I made on Wednesday. And that was in episode 15. It's actually on the Facebook page, and I'll take that and just wrap up a little meat and cheese in that, and have that as like a little sandwich that I'm having during the middle of the day. And I'll have maybe hard-boiled eggs, and like I said, nuts. I'll have some cut fruits. I'll have a hummus, a little thing of hummus. I have little tiny little, like about this big around. Here, I have one right here. I have my pills in here. I'm doing a lot of supplement right now. And So I have 3 times a day where I take a bunch of these supplements. So I have just these little things where I keep either a dressing or a hummus or something, you know, maybe I'll do like I did a vegan cream cheese with a little bit of some ranch flavoring in there. And, you know, that's my little thing. And I make that up every day. Sometimes I'll make 2 or 3 and, you know, I'll split it up into 2 because if I'm leaving or something that I can put in some Tupperware, then I still have something on the go. Boy, I remember when I was working my job last year, before this virus thing, I was in sales and I was probably 12 hours. I was gone for the day in my car. I put like 30,000 miles on my car last year. I mean, it did great. It was a great job, but I'm kind of glad that the virus has forced me to concentrate more on my coaching, because I was more or less, I didn't do as much of that. I was merely just focusing on on my job. So that's what I've done this year. How grateful I am for that opportunity, you know, to take this terrible, horrible, get laid off from a great job into something that I really love, because I really do love this. I mean, I liked my job. It was interiors, you know, that's what I did in my previous life 30 years ago. But to be able to reach people and jump out of my box and do this kind of a format where I'm reaching people through the internet, I would have never done that without this. So that's my little sidetrack. Gratitude. Back to what I was saying. When I was running around going off, 12-hour days, if I didn't pack myself this little, I call it my little bento box. If you've ever eaten a Japanese lunch, they have the little bento box, and it's like a little mixture of just a little bit of everything. So it's cool. I mean, you get your little variety in there, and it's interesting, and it's not all the same thing, and it just, you can kind of nibble on it all day long, which is what I did. I would have a couple bites in between appointments, or, it's very stressful driving here, running around, looking on Google and all that, trying to figure out, because every appointment was at a different home. So that worked for me, and I noticed a huge difference when I got smart and started putting those together, rather than, what can I stop and get in the, because I refuse to do fast food. Refuse. I will do In-N-Out every once in a while because I love it. Everybody loves In-N-Out, but I never eat the bun. I always did, whatever. But I literally could not believe how hard it was to find healthy anything along in any of the little stores, unless you had like a Sprouts that was on your way, or a Whole Foods. It's even in the regular grocery store. It's getting better now, but it really is hard to find something that's legal, shall we say. So I normally, when I go to I go shopping usually over the weekend on Sunday, and kind of just plan out the variants of what I'm gonna have. Like this week I got a little melon. I'm gonna wrap it in prosciutto. Just a little honeydew melon. And I don't always do that. There's a lot of sugar in a lot of the fruits, so I've been just tending to go more towards the berries, which tend to be lower in sugar, because I've really been trying to pull my sugar content down a lot. Having gained a bunch of weight, for some of you that didn't know my story, here I am, health and weight loss health coach. And unbeknownst to me, I was on some seizure medication from a major head injury years back, and I had put on this unexplained weight all of a sudden, and it wouldn't go away. It is now eventually just now starting to release, and it's going pretty good now. I just had to reset my system and do a major detox, which a lot of you that you keep seeing those things about insulin resistance, you know, and I was positive that was my problem because nothing else, defined that. I just couldn't figure out why. Like I said, why? My naturopathic doctor that I go and see, he said, by my tests, I definitely was not insulin resistant, but in fact, I was actually hypoglycemic. I didn't. My sugar levels were falling too low, which then puts you into the category where your body thinks it's in starvation mode, so then it just completely shuts off your system. So, and that made a lot of sense. I mean, I understood that concept before, but I just couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was doing the intermittent fasting too, not because I was trying to. That's very trendy right now. But he literally said, you need to eat a little something as soon as you wake up, get some kind of, to get your blood sugar back up so you start burning all day long. So there's a whole deal with that. It's hard to figure out. I mean, I've been helping other people do this and I still ran into my own roadblock. So the whole idea, I guess what I'm trying to get at here is blood sugar. Everything to do with your excess pounds, how your body metabolizes your food, everything is about your balance of healthy fats, healthy proteins, and good carbs. Okay? You can have bad fats, you can have bad proteins, which are basically animal fat. Animal fat is what I mean, actually. But you can have bad carbs, and that's things that are just super high in sugar. Carrots, peas, and corn are super high in sugar, so I really limit those. But green beans and zucchini, way lower in the sugar. Broccoli, asparagus. So I tend to eat more veggies in that category. And please forgive me, but I think sometimes I've mentioned this plenty of times, but repetition is always good. So with my little bento box, I always make sure that I have some healthy fats, good proteins, and some healthy carbs. And I have a whole list here. I could do any kinds of nuts. Some of them have more sugar than others. I'm sticking more or less cashews, a little more of the walnuts and pecans. Black and green olives, love them. Like I said, I was doing the prosciutto wrapped around melon. That's always a good one. You got fat, you got your protein, and you got your sugar, because you want to have something that has a good fiber content, which usually are in your veggies. Good fiber to balance out any sugar spikes. So anything that you eat, like the fiber in the melon will cancel out the sugar in the melon and it will also be tempered and balanced by the fat and the protein of the prosciutto. But I mean, if I'm having a little smorgasbord of all of these little things in my tray, in my little bento tray, sometimes I'll have my kale or veggie chips in there that I put in there. I could do smoked salmon in there. I could do some snap peas with a little tiny bit of some homemade ranch dressing that I made, or just sliced apples or pears. There's so many different things. So what I have done is I have comprised a list, and I'm going to post that on in this video. I'm going to post this underneath, and that's my food hack, and that's just prep a little bowl of whatever you got on hand and make sure you've got good fats, good proteins, and good carbs. And it's as simple as that. Go from this list and check out, and you might have something else that you really like. I mean, I've been known, well, I'm going to go through another list here. Here are some good snack pairs if you're not going to do the bento box, idea. And you just want to pack along something for, your going out the door for a couple hours shopping and you don't want to stop and get some kind of junk along the way. So I mean, it is something I could keep in my purse. A lot of people get crazy fanatic about having about something being refrigerated that's going to go bad. And here's a rule of thumb. Trust me, I have had health permits. I've actually been qualified to teach the class, with the food handler class. I've done it because I was the one that gave the test to my employees. So I've been through all of those classes and courses forever. And in my experience, I have never, ever in 25 years, ever got somebody sick. Never had one instance, ever. Never had a violation handed to me by any of, the inspectors. Always had an A rating. So, but I'm here to tell you, you've got about a 4-hour window before bacteria is going to start, if something's not refrigerated. So, even meat, you're going to be fine. So for me, like, for instance, the other day, I did these, I made these little, in fact, that's going to be one of the recipes that we're going to do for a blueprint next week. I'm going to be in Hawaii with my son, and we're doing some Cooking School 101. And we're going to do how to make meatloaf, meatballs, blah, 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 blah. So, I'm going to do that. But I use this common recipe that I have all the time, to make a meatloaf, but I made patties out of it instead. I make these little pita burger patties. And with my kids, I would they have the Middle Eastern spices in with the turkey. Super healthy, super yummy. Serve it with some hummus. And I made the burgers. I'm not doing the pita at this time. I'll wrap it in lettuce instead. But I had, a half of a turkey burger, and it was cold. Smeared some hummus on it, wrapped it in lettuce, and threw it in a baggie. Took it with me, and it was in a little baggie in my little. I have a little bag that I keep along in the car, But they'd be fine. I was fine while I went shopping and ran errands. And about 3 hours later, I was starving, and by that time it had warmed up, so it wasn't freezing cold. So it was perfect. It was kind of room temperature. You've got a really good 4-hour window before things are really going to go bad. People that get sick from food poisoning is something that someone left out too long 4 days ago, and then the bacteria, it accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. So that's how people get really, really sick, because that thing just sat there and stewed up. If you're generally a safe person and that was made well, and and you want to have something hanging out in a little baggie on your lunch sack or whatever, you're fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. But these days it's easy to bring a little coolie pack or whatever too. But so that's just one little idea. I also, every week on Sunday, I love vegetables. So I will steam some broccoli, some green beans, not as much carrots these days because I'm staying away from them because they have a lot more sugar. I will maybe roast some carrots, and that's a special treat, with my little, with my recipe that was in an episode from last week. I did the balsamic roasted vegetables. So anyway, I'll have some veggies on hand or some beets. I will just roast a couple beets and then peel them, after they're done, cut them up in little squares, and I will literally eat those as a snack in my little bento ball. Love them. Love them. Especially, the red ones get your hands all weird, but you can get those they're orange beets. They're I think they call them yellow beets, but they're right there with the red ones. A little milder flavor. I mean, this is my not midnight snack, but my physician said I need to keep that blood sugar a little better, and said that I probably should, instead of being hypoglycemic and having the low sugar, I should probably eat something a little bit before bed. And it helps me sleep better too. And I'll take like a quarter a head of cabbage, steam it up, or take these beets that I had, cut up, and put a tiny little half a pat of butter on there, warm it up, and that's like my good night snack for dinner. Not dinner, I mean before bedtime. Beets and cabbage, who would have thought, right? And there's enough sugar in the beets that it will satiate any bit of a little sweet tooth too. For me, I mean, it works like a charm. But these are just ideas. Obviously what you have is only as good as the ingredients that you come. You want to always try and get organic. And we are going to go through and do an organic thing. The whole idea of some of my pears, like you could take a can of black beans and mix it with a little bit of salsa and then smush an avocado, mash up an avocado, mix it all together. That's a snack in itself. Even throw on a little side of some plain Greek yogurt as sour, because I substitute that for sour cream all day long. All day long. Right now I have found a really good coconut product that tastes pretty much just like the Greek yogurt without the dairy. And I'm addicted to that. I've been mixing that with I've been making guacamole. And I make my own homemade salsa, and then I'll have a little bit of the, mash the avocado, and then throw a little of that, the coconut sour cream in there. Yum! It's not that hard. They have beautiful chips these days. Siete is one brand, where made out of cassava flour. So you can do grain free, because grain tends to really signify big carbs. So anyway, simple things. I got rid of peanut butter. I did cashew butter, but I'll do that with apple slices. I'll take an avocado half and I mix up a little tiny bit of some really good vegan mayonnaise, and a little bit of some minced onions and some crab and shrimp, and make myself like a little shrimp salad. Throw that in the hole in the avocado. I'll take that avocado and just pour some cocoa aminos, which is like soy sauce, but it's just better. Very popular now. You can get it in Costco, the big bottle. And I use that instead of soy sauce. And you get away from the wheat, because there's a lot of wheat. There's gluten in soy sauce, so I'm trying to go gluten-free. Gluten-free is one of those things that causes inflammation, that keeps weight on us. I'm just this is like a roundhouse of just various information here, but they all tie together. They really do. I love to do some roasted veggies and throw a little bit, like I said, those carrots. I've got some natural, beautiful heirloom carrots, and I'm gonna probably be doing that and roast those with a little of my blackcurrant balsamic vinegar, a little olive oil. And then I serve those with a little bit of goat cheese. And I mean, it just pairs so well. That's a total snack for me. Anytime you could do, a good granola. They've got a lot of products out. They're grain-free granolas. They're made out of nuts and seeds, and they're low carbs. Look for things like that. And they can be found in the stores. Walmart. I was in a Walmart, I don't know, it was like last week. It is amazing to me how many really cool, good natural products Walmart has anymore. Some of them, they do have a natural section, but they're not always with, you just kind of got to know your products. And maybe I'm going to try and see if I can do maybe a walkthrough if Walmart will let me, or maybe I'll just do it without asking them. I don't know. Thought about doing a video in the grocery store, because that would be really cool. So those are some ideas for you guys. You're heading on the weekend. Maybe just try and see if you can implement any of these ideas for your weekend. It's just stunning to me how much is out there, and we always tend to eat whatever's right there. Even whether we want that, or we need that, or we should have that, so many times, we're just going to go with the crap we have that's in there. So maybe make your effort the next time you're at the store to make 3 ideas of a good snack for the week and get what you need to do that. Look for organic products, whole food products, and things that don't have stuff in the labels that you don't know what that is. Because if you don't know what that is, you shouldn't eat it. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. So, all right. Well, I'm going to post all this stuff underneath. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. I'm making a veggie lasagna. I'm in an Italian thing these days. I don't know what it is. Probably because I had to give up tomatoes for like 3 months. And I'm allowed to have tomatoes again, so I'm probably just like craving all of my old favorite dishes. I made so many of them. But I'm gonna do a vegetable lasagna, and it's gonna be grain-free and dairy-free, and maybe you guys will be anxious to check that out. I don't know. But if I get to it, I will post it, and thank you so much for paying attention and checking it out. We'll be looking forward to doing a challenge when I return from Hawaii. Probably, like I said, the last Monday. We're going to start on the last Monday of this month, I believe. So I didn't forget about that. But I think in the meantime, all of what I've been talking to, and it's funny because I do want to say this before I go. I meant to make this a point for you guys, and this was something that was really stunning to me. A couple years back, I decided I wanted to, even though I already had professionally been a weight loss and healthy chef, a food coach, I decided that I wanted to just go and get my credentials. So I enrolled in a program and did my homework. I looked at a couple of them, and I really liked the energy of the gals that were running the one that I chose. It was Health Coach Institute. And I was absolutely stunned when I started the curriculum, because in the very first, I guess, module, you'll say, and I want to say maybe the first 20% of this course was about effects of eating. It didn't tell you exactly what to eat. The coursework was really about all the different diets, how to disseminate through. I have this one chart that says how to figure out what to eat for 100 different diets. I mean, and basically it's just stats. But the point I'm trying to make was, if any of you guys came to me and wanted to just enroll in my coaching program, it's a 12-week program. If you wanted to enroll in it, all of the stuff that we're doing now, that I'm talking to you on this channel about, is all aside from what that program is about. All of this stuff, all of me trying to educate or share ideas about what to eat and conquering what it is for you to figure out what's right for you, is a precursor to what I do with my clients, because they find out that sometimes they need a little more guidance, and they need personal attention and need to be plugged into certain things that go with their lifestyle. But I'm going to make a bold statement. 95% of what goes on with you making a habit change and really changing your food, your eating, and how you look at it for the rest of your life it's all in your head. It's all 90% is here, and your program. It's your cerebral, what you think, how you feel, how you convince yourself, and how you want something because you know of its value, and changing that program that runs around in the back of your head that you've been accustomed to doing. That's what our programming is when we just reach for whatever's available, even if it's potato chips or crap or stuff that we don't want. you know, or shouldn't have. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, there's a lot that goes into making those good habit changes, and it's really all in your head. You know, it's just kind of like anything, happiness in your world, whether it's relationships or if it's your health or your wealth, it's all in your head. And it's all how you work your programming, and you be in the driver's seat and tell your programming. You command your brain to guide you in the direction that's best for you. Because I'm going to mention this again, and I say this a lot, but you're run by your programming, which is run by your critter brain, which is part of your cortex, back stem of your brain. This is your Neanderthal brain that has been developed through evolution to keep you safe and keep you alive, not to keep you happy or thin or well-adjusted or doing well in your relationships. That's up to your brain. And so that's up to your thinking brain for you to change those programs. So I just always, any opportunity that comes in my mind, I want to put that out there to just say, hey people, the more you hear that, the more it seems natural and the better off you're going to be. So right now, just all these little goodies that I'm, these nuggets that I'm trying to throw out with all of these 3 and 4 times a week that I'm putting a video out, is just really to condition any of you to really understand how to be smart, you know, how to be wise. That's why it's the name of my business, Wise Life Consulting, because knowledge is power, but applying your knowledge is wisdom. So, thank you again, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye.